after a few days or a few weeks even, okay, this guy's legit, this guy's not so legit, this guy's links are awesome, and you're going to find that, let's see if I can find a good one now here. But even if you don't buy one, you can still learn a hell of a lot. Charles Float, he's an amazing guy, the god of SEO, self-named. Brilliant guy, though. You know Charles?
No, not directly.
All right. No, I mean, I didn't know him via online, not directly either, but
yeah,
we've got mutual friends in the SEO world. But I mean, again, I'm not finding really too many for sale on here. So let's back up and take a look at another one, maybe the... here we are, the BHC PBN Marketplace. This is a good one. Here we are, beauty fashion PBN links for September for $7. And this guy's got, he says it'll work for affiliate, for weight loss, muscle gain, skin creams, etc. And again, guys, people are blown away. I mean, to give you guys an example of what I did in March, Profit Academy was a $11.5 million product. It was, I believe, not number one. I believe number one is still Amazing Selling Machines, but it was probably the number two launch. Anik made a lot of money from that, and I was able to place, I believe, 5th or 6th in the contest. I made about 125,000 US from affiliate commissions, and that was probably 80% from my own rankings, not from my list, which my list is fairly small, but I treat them right. They love me. So I just want to give you guys an idea of how I did that. Is I simply used PBN links, my own and rented ones as well. And again, you want to make sure you find ones that are quality. If I don't know Matt, I really don't. So I would probably read about his feedback, read his other posts, see what people have to say about this guy, if people like his links, etc. Again, you want to do your research. You want to make sure you're going to be getting high quality links. But I mean, again, this is $7. I don't know if that's monthly or a one-time fee. I would guess. Okay, yeah.
It looks monthly.
My bad. Yeah, there we are. $7 a month. So, but I mean, again, if you can rank, for a while I was ranked. I'm still actually ranked for Text the Romance Back, which is a product by Michael Fiore. But I'm number one. But for a while I was number one for Text the Romance Back review. And I think I was making $200 a day passively from that one. That wasn't a launch jock. That was just an active product that's still being sold now. So, I mean, you don't have to just go after product launches. You can, what I do is I'll build up my site. I'll make an authority site. I'll review new products. I'll review old products. I'll add value and content. I'll teach people keyword research or other SEO aspects. And what happens is people start to know my name. They start to like me. They start to follow me. And because they know I'm not just out to kind of promote offer after offer, they're going to more likely buy from me because of my reputation, because they like me, because I actually responded to their chat on Facebook or their email. So again, I'm kind of going off topic here on the whole linking thing, but this is all part of my strategy, though, guys. You want to be a real person. You want to make sure that you respond to people's questions. You want to make sure you treat them with respect, and I promise, guys, they're going to see you now as more than just a name or an email address or a Facebook page, but they're going to see you as a real person or even a friend in many cases. So I just want to remind you guys of that. But, I mean, yeah, this is ridiculously simple, but it works. And that looks like you had a question, Stephen?
I would actually just like to say for everybody who's on right now, and I'm going to recap because I see that we had about 15, 20 people come on since we started talking. So I want to recap, make sure that they aren't lost or anything. But if you guys have questions, please put them down in the questions section so I can ask Jeff as we're going along here. But to recap, you're like, okay, quality content and being, a generally cool guy who actually likes helping people is pretty important to doing this. But for link-wise, one of the strategies that you do is you have your own PBNs, right? And then you have then you also will go out and actually buy links on other people's PBNs. And you said one of the easiest ways to do that is to actually go into Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Type in PBN, and then go to the group search.
Let me go back
and
real
you're going
quick
to have a bunch of different private groups that you can join. Yeah, and we're seeing it right here. you have a bunch of different private groups that you can join to, very easily find all of the links that you're going to need. And you said that what was the product for
Touch the Roman's back?
Affiliate Jetpack?
Oh, yeah, like my
You
current
only
one, yeah.
used like 6 or 7 links, and you were ranking for that.
Oh, yeah. I'm number 1 right now in
Yeah.
Google for that, so.
So even if you don't have your own PBN, which everybody has access to Page One Engine's PBN, but even if you don't have your own PBN, for probably, what, 50, 60 bucks, you could go and jack a launch.
Oh, yeah.
So what is another strategy that you use? Or what's another place that you go to find these PBN links?
There's also some of the Black Hat sites, as you no doubt know, and one of the ones I actually like a lot is Black Hat World. And again, that's blackhatworld.com. And guys watching at home, do me a favor. Please do not go visit there now. I want you guys to kind of focus here. But if you want to take a quick screenshot, write that down, grab your phone, take a picture, for example. But if you go to Black Hat World, I forget my password. I'll reset it later, no big deal. But if you go into the forum on here, and I actually use Facebook now more than BHW, so forgive me for not knowing this site like a pro. Actually, let me check on my Gmail. Hold on one second, please.
Okay.
I'm on my other screen. Hold on.
And I'm going to just go through and answer a question that Paul had. He said, when do we get access to the POE PBN? You actually already have access to it. It's in the tools section under the 500 site network.
Tools, right here, guys, on the left side,
Yep.
Page One Engine 500 site network linking.
Yep, and you guys can use that, and Anne actually had an entire series of, or an entire webinar on going through and how to use it. And I believe that it should be posted up in either the Bootcamp or the Q&A area. So you guys can go and take a look at that.
Spot on, absolutely. Thank you.
So, and SJ, I'm actually going to be asking Jeff about some of other linking strategies a bit later on.
Perfect. All right, so anyways, Black Hat World. Again, if you go into the forum, marketplace, SEO, link building, you're going to find a bunch of other people here that have these different services as well. They're going to be a bit cheaper. I would scroll down past all the please read stickies, and you're going to find people offering different services. 16 pages, 374 pages. Excuse me. Keep in mind, some of these links are going to be more spammy links. So again, I say this with all sincerity. Please take the time to go through and do your research, do your due diligence, read the feedback. I've spent a few hours before reading about a person's review or about their product before I purchased it, and I've had great results. I've had some that were only okay. I've had some that were amazing. I've had some that really didn't do as much as I hoped they would. So again, make sure you take the time to do that, to research that properly. And again, when you're linking to your money site, meaning your main website, your main blog, you don't want to get crappy links. You don't want to buy, these scrapebox links, for example, or X-Rumor links. You want to make sure that you're focusing more on quality over quantity. I mean, again, I can beat somebody very easily with 10 quality links over 10 million crappy links. I mean, granted, they might get a boost temporarily, but I'm going to beat them because I've got better quality links that I either build out myself via my private blog network or via the PBNs. And then actually, Shirley's question, is that what you were going to ask?
Yeah, I was about to say.
How do you know if you're buying crappy links? It's really hard to say. It's really something you kind of learn. I mean, here's one example, 10,000 GSA backlinks. Yeah, no, you don't want anything in the thousands. Usually, when you're going to get something better, I mean, here's a good example. Web 2.0 revolution. It's probably not really a PBN per se, but it's going to be links from different Web 2.0 websites. I would imagine WordPress. And let's take a look, though. So this person writes the content for you. They write the articles. Let's see where they put. Anyway, they drop them on sites like this. So again, these are not really PBNs per se. These are more of a Web 2.0 link. But one thing you could also do, if you have a PBN network, you can actually even, and I hope you're not going to get to this later, Stephen, but you can actually even do tiered linking. I can buy some of these links right here, and I can link to my PBN site, for example, or a particular post or post on there to help boost their authority. And believe it or not, the authority actually does get passed on. When you have a more authoritative main link being built up by the other links, it's going to become a lot more powerful. Let me show you guys a quick example. It's hard to kind of explain this. I'm going to use my Ninja Paint skills. I feel like a third grader when I do this. But let's say you've got your money site. And let's see, I'm going to put a little text right here. And of course, a money site, if you guys do not know, that is your main website. That's going to be the site that is bringing you your money. Basically, that's where you're going to be doing your backlinking to. All right. And then let's say I got 3 different PBN links right here. I'm just going to put a quick letter P in each of those. These are my PBN links right here. So what I can essentially do, and again, sorry for the ghetto kind of drawing there, but you can actually even link to those. So I can go, for example, to this Web 2.0 service right here. Let's see how many I can get. I'll read it later. It doesn't matter. But I can go to that Web 2.0 service, and I can maybe start doing links from those. Maybe let's say it's 10 links. I can do all 10 links to right here. Or maybe it's 10. I can split them up between these two right here. But I mean, again, when you're building more backlinks, to your main backlinks, it's going to help build up the authority of those as well. And I know that might be confusing, but I promise it works insanely well. You're basically the same way you're building up your own site with PBNs. You can also build up the PBNs with other links as well. And when you're building links to your PBNs, still do your research. You don't want to blast like 20,000 links to those, because that could still get a penalty. But I mean, that's something that works extremely well. And I'll be honest, guys, tiered linking is not something I really do all that often. I do sometimes for some of my more difficult to manage reputation management clients, where it's a difficult keyword to rank for, when I'm trying to really rank for something difficult. But I mean, everything I've done this year, I've only used like third tier links 2 or 3 times. I mean, not really that often. So, and it is something you can do. It's an option you have, but it's not something you really need to do if you're getting quality links. And so again, the best way to see if something's going to work for you, my opinion, if I didn't know better, and I still do it, read the reviews, read the feedback, see what people are talking about. And this works on Facebook. This works on Black Hat World, for example. This works on any other site, any other marketplace you might find links for, even the Warrior Forum. It's going to work still. People's feedback is always my number one. Well, see, if it's the person I know, reputation is number one. But if it's someone I don't know, feedback is number one, and I'm going to take wholeheartedly what other people say about the results they received. So I hope that kind of answers that a little bit.
Okay, so we have a question on what metrics do you focus on to figure out how high of an authority the link is that you just got?
Before or after I buy it? Or build it, I mean.
I guess.
Good question.
So, yeah. Well, either of those are good questions, like the before or the after.
Yeah,
so beforehand, you said you focus primarily on the reputation of the person, correct?
Yeah, yeah. If you mean the quality of the links themselves, I mean, generally speaking, guys, page rank, yeah, it's still nice. It's a good indication from me a couple years ago. Page authority, domain authority is still good, but really the big thing now is going to be CF and TF, which is citation flow and trust flow. Usually what I will look for now, what many people will offer, is you'll see people mention, I've got trust flow and citation flow above 20. Really, the higher the better, but for myself, I usually like to try to find 15 or above for both citation and trust flow. And basically, trust flow is a third-party metric that shows how much trust the links have coming from that site. And the citation flow, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Stephen, is simply the quality of the backlinks pointing to that site as well. So I want to try to find a site that has pretty similar citation and trust flow, because that's generally going to be a more solid and a more well-rounded backlink before to send to my site.
Okay. So let me see here. We got, if you are going to be, now how much does it matter where the link is placed within the content to your site?
The link itself, I mean, if I'm doing the link, I mean, if I'm doing my own PBNs, I'll simply add the link naturally within the content. And then again, guys, we've got some amazing videos by Anne that really covers this stuff a lot more than I can in the next 35 minutes. But I mean, really, I will try to place it more towards the top when I can. I might have a link to my site, with the anchor text, for example, maybe a Philo Jetpack 2.0 review. If I'm talking about Mark Ling in that review, I might link to Mark's Facebook or Twitter page, which is nice external authoritative link. And the reason for that is, guys, when you link to an external site in Google, for lack of better words, it's showing Google you want to give your readers the best experience on the site. You don't care. You're not just linking to your site and your site alone. I always have trouble explaining this one, but Google does love when you link to other sites. Again, it shows you're not just all about yourself, for example, and that you want to give users, you want to give readers the best experience. So, I mean, generally speaking, I'll try to add the link. I mean, if I can, the first paragraph. If not, maybe at least the first half of the site. On the PBN itself. Of course, when I'm renting the links from others, I really have no control over that, but they tend to do a pretty good job at that.
Okay. And do you often have to provide your own content, or do they generally provide it for you?
No, they provide it. I mean, it depends on the provider as well. Most people will write the content for you, because they're particular about how their site looks and reads. Some people will let you provide it for a discount. It just really depends on the service provider.
Okay, got it.
Good question, by the way. Good question.
Yeah. And then, now, how far in advance do you start link building?
If I found a launch, I found this launch rep warn. I got hit up by Matt, who is the JV manager. Now, guys, keep in mind, I've been doing this for a while. This is not something I recommend, but I was only told about this launch a week ago, and I'm already right here. The videos will probably be ignored because those look kind of spammy. Pretty much number two if you take out the videos. I started this one about a week ago, and then I went to my linking guy and said, hey, can I please get 5 rush links for this review, please? He said, yeah, no problem, and I did that. Generally speaking, though, for any of you, what I would recommend is try to find something maybe 2 to 3, if not 4 weeks out. And again, if you guys watch my training, I show you guys where you can find the up-and-coming launches. I primarily use muncheye.com, which is an amazing site that shows you what's coming out when. So if you go to Muncheye, for example, what's today, September 3rd, I would look for something after the 18th. I mean, Devin Zander, that guy's amazing. That's probably going to convert like crazy. Econ Premier Academy, I'd probably say you can go for that as a newbie. It's half a month out. But really 2 weeks, even 3 weeks or more, take the time to do your review. And here's the thing, guys, I'll give you a hint. Don't, if you got a brand new site, first of all, finish your review, finish your content before you start link building. But if you've got an established site with maybe 5 or 6 other articles, don't be afraid just to put up a basic review. Title tag, description tag, paragraph of content, maybe a picture. Publish it, get it indexed in Google, and start building links to it then, and then go back and work on your review. So that's what I'll do is I'll multitask. I'll start a review just to get it online, and start building links right away. And then I'll improve my review over the next week or two as time goes on. So really, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, if not more. The more, the better.
Okay, got it. So we still have, okay, I'm still not, so I think there's a bit of confusion about things being like public or private blog networks.
Okay.
What's your philosophy on like the private versus the public blog networks?
That's where you have to be careful. That's one reason I also do use Facebook more than Blackout World is, you don't want to buy links from the Jeff Lenney PBN Monster Network. That's going to be on Google's radar. But what you want to do is, someone's calling me. That's my mom. I'm picking up the call. Hold on a second. Hang up.
Jeff
Sorry, Mom.
has to talk on his. Jeff has to talk to his mom real quick.
I just hung up on her. I meant to click on deny and I picked it up by mistake. So I saw her waving at me before I hung up on her. Let me text her real quick. Hold on a second.
Oh, come on. You can't hang up on Mom.
Yeah, she'll forgive me. I really hope, at least. What was the question again? It was
Okay.
private versus public. I mean,
Yeah.
generally, you're going to hear about big PBN network takedowns. The big so-and-so network, the big so-and-so network. Those are people that are really publishing their networks very publicly, like on
Mhm.
Black Hat World, etc., where Google. I mean, Matt Cutts, before he left Google, was on Black Hat World every day, reading, learning, and studying as the head of Google's spam team. He knew about the links. And so generally speaking, you just want to find some SEO guy that's doing a kick-ass job on his own that sells links privately.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
So
Go ahead.
your philosophy on it is not necessarily public versus private. It's big versus small.
I mean, again, generally, I mean, the guy I use has a very big network of a few hundred
Yeah.
links, maybe even a few thousand now, but he's not advertising it in a public place. I mean, Google doesn't know about it.
Okay.
So I mean, you can rent links from an amazing, massive network. You just have to try to do so through a private seller, if that makes sense. And,
Got
and
it.
again, the more time you guys spend in the Facebook groups, which is my number one recommendation, the more you're going to find out, who's got the good links, who's not so good. And you're gonna, even if you simply talk to people, ask who they recommend, you're gonna get some good recommendations. And there's tons of people out there that sell real high quality links. They've had their networks active for years and haven't been touched at all.
Yeah.
Um,
No. Um,
Good
I
question,
do.
also.
Yeah. I do want to get to a few other types of linking,
Yeah, by all
a
means.
few other questions, but here is one interesting question that I got that came in from F.L. And it's, okay,
Florida.
Florida. So when, or has there ever been a point where you just know to walk away from a launch?
You know,
Where you're like,
I'll give you,
okay, it's not going to be worth the amount of effort that I'm going to
yeah,
have to put in.
I'll give you an example. iPro Academy, which came around last week. I knew about this launch before anyone else because I know Fred. I'm on page one now, of course, the very bottom.
Mm-hmm.
After the launch is over, go figure. But I was actually I was actually at the top of page one, and for some reason I was telling Dory about this. A bunch of spammy links took over the top, and I got moved down to page 3 or 4. I believe Dory was on page 3 or 4 for that one. So
Mm-hmm.
this is one I already spent probably $800 in building links to. And I even paid for a $500 blog post on someone's big site, and that's stuff that usually puts me to the very top really quickly. And I was on page 3 of Google, probably a day, 2 days before the launch, and I was like, you know what? I'm really hoping some links are going to kick in. I'm going to move on up, but this isn't worth it. So, I mean, again, I don't get everyone I go after. Not
Mm-hmm.
any one person does. If they do, they're lying to you. But, I mean, this is one example where I mean, again, I would have been $2,000 commissions per sale, which is freaking awesome. But that's one I walked away from. There's some other ones where I simply didn't build enough. I simply don't have enough time to build links before the launch starts, for example. But I mean, really, you want to be positioned on page one, at least the top half of page one, at least the day before the launch starts. And again, that's why, especially for you new folks and intermediate folks, you want to make sure you give yourself the time to get your review, make it a kick-ass review. Make sure you get the quality links coming in. Make sure you're ranking. I mean, again, I'm going to be ranked a week or two before anything launches I go after, so I can know that I'm going to stick. But yeah, I mean,
Got
I'll
it.
walk away from that. I'll walk away from that ranking by all means. I mean, sometimes maybe during a launch, if it's a 10-day launch or a big launch, I might even build some links during the launch to help maintain my own ranking. But again, it's going to be worth it for me. If I spend $1,000 on backlinks and blog reviews and everything, and it's going to make me 150,000, I'm okay with that. So. But in this case, I think I spent probably $800, probably 300 in PBN links, and then one review on someone's real high authority site.
Mm-hmm.
and I just got bumped the heck out of there for I've got no idea why. So other times as well, you'll find the day the product launches, a bunch of videos pop up, a bunch of LinkedIn spam pops up, a bunch of spam simply pops up and moves your site down out of nowhere. I mean, again, eventually you're probably going to come back up, like mine slowly is for this one here. But really, it's just a matter of simply doing it and seeing when you get there. I really can't give
Mm-hmm.
in this exact scenario, But that's a good question, though. It's a very good question. F to the L.
Okay. So
It's a good beer, by the way. Solid IPA.
solid IPA.
Oh,
Okay.
by Stone. This is Stone's go-to IPA. So
Nice. I'm more partial to hard ciders myself,
nice.
and like
I do like
whiskey.
this too, though. As do I. I finished off some Johnny Walker Blue a month ago. So.
Oh, nice. So, okay. I wanted to also ask you about like interlinking,
Yeah.
and maybe also talk about some of the efforts that you've done for like long-term strategies for. Larry says he likes moonshine.
Never had any, but please send me some. I would love to try it.
So, um, so let's talk a little bit about interlinking, because I noticed the way that your site is set up, you aren't just trying to build like a 1-2 page site. You're trying to build for the long term,
Oh yeah.
and you create a ton, or you have lots of content created for your site, and you also do some viral things. Like I saw a post on your site which was hilarious, and that was about why Kanye West would suck at email marketing.
Let me find that one. Hold on. Obviously, that's not a search for phrase, but just how to quickly find it. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is, have you ever used like those the articles that have like really taken off, and then use those to interlink to your own content to help you rank?
Oh, by all means, all the time. I mean, this post, for example, is obviously a bit humorous. I was rather proud of this one. I got shared by some pretty big people on some pretty big sites for this one. But, I mean, again, the whole point of this is to give people value. I talk about building a relationship with your list. And my point was, Kanye, let me turn some light on. Hold on. Kanye only cares about himself and no one else. So you need to care about other people, and that's going to help you. Well, yeah, that was my whole point there. Be responsive to people, be caring, be a real person. And the whole point was simply pure value. I'm not promoting anything. I think I did recommend a PS for one of Onyx courses when I did this. But, I mean, you'll see, though, because I've got such a large site now, I do a lot of internal linking on the site as well. I do link to other articles on my site. This one's about email marketing. This one's about a relationship with my list. Here's more email marketing. So I will take a look at this. If you think of any Wikipedia page, Stephen and you folks at home, you'll see Wikipedia links like crazy to other pages on where? Wikipedia. What they're doing is they're number one, they're going to pass the authority from their pages amongst their whole site. Number two, they're going to give people kind of a next step. If you're reading about, Ford, you read about the Mustang, you can click on Mustang, it opens up for you. So they're going to help lower the bounce rate and give users more valuable information. So that's something I do consistently and constantly, is I will always try to add as many relevant internal links within my own site. The nice thing is, guys, let's say I get a real kick-ass backlink naturally to this site, or a few backlinks to this particular page right here, and it boosts up the authority of this page. Any link I've got from this page to other pages on my site is going to pass on the authority a little bit to that page as well, because I'm linking to it from this page. So I know it's kind of hard to explain, but if you think of it just kind of a chain reaction, the point of impact is this particular post right here, and things will spread out in a positive way to other posts and content on my site when this is being linked to. So, I mean, that's again why I don't care if I link to YouTube or Wikipedia or WebMD or Kanye West Twitter feed. I want to give people the most valuable information, no matter where it's going to be sending them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, And I also so we talked about the viral linking that you do, and kind of a bit about how you use internal linking on your own site.
Yes.
Now, there's been a lot of debate among like top SEOs over social signals.
Okay.
Do you think that those have ever played a significant role in helping you rank for one of your launches?
I've got no idea. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Social signals show people, it kind of gives, what's the word, social proof, if you will. I mean, let me show you guys an example here. My How to Get Rich Overnight post, which is, of course, again, it's a valuable content. And that is more shares. That's an awesome post. Hold on, let me try to find a better one. But my whole here we are. But I don't know. Alex Becker says he can rank with just social signals. I know some people that say it's not possible. I mean, I don't know. I mean, social signals are not something I really ever use. For me, they're just going to show people that other people like my post, which might. I mean, right away, people see that people have liked this post 37 times. They tweeted it. They've Google Plused it. They've LinkedIn'd it. No one's pinned it. What the hell? But so that's going to kind of show right away. Hey, people like this content. So for me, that's just social proof. Say, hey guys, this is good. Check it out. Having said that, though, I've experimented with it. I've used different tools for obtaining real social signals. I really can't say for sure whether it's worked for me or not. That's a hard one to say. Like, you're going to find some people that swear by it, others that say, no, it's not going to make any difference. Honestly, I don't see, it would make sense to me that it would, but I really haven't seen any concrete proof one way or another.
Got
Do you have
it.
any thoughts on that yourself?
I think that it's an important ranking factor if everything else is even.
Makes sense.
So if that's where you have the advantage, then that's where you have the advantage.
Works for me.
So I don't think faking social signals works that well.
Which is why I've only done it once the past year and a half. So,
So last thing I want to touch on, actually I got two more things I want to touch on, one of which you touched on earlier.
okay.
But the next one that I want to touch on, Gaynor actually just asked about this as well, and it is press releases.
Oh.
So do you use press releases in your launch jacking strategies?
By all means, I certainly do. Usually when I'm going after a big launch, here's the thing, guys. A press release is awesome by itself, but what you want to do is, let me show you, see if I can find an example. What you want to do is you want your site, let me get my little highlighter here, my pen. You see where this says in the news right here. You want your press release to appear up here in the news. This is not ranked here organically. Well, let me show you guys a better example. Hold on a second. As much as I hate to do this, close this. This stuff up here, guys. Let me show you guys. In the news, this is not ranked #1 for Kanye West. That's just active news from Daily Mail from 3 hours ago, from Blabbermouth from 6 hours ago, from Donald Trump. That's awesome. From Rolling Stone from 2 days ago. This is more recent news having to do with the topic. So you guys will find there's always something up to date. So if we search for North Korea, it's a very heavily very interesting topic, very interesting country as well. You're going to find they're always up here in the news. So with the press release, you've got different options. Many of those options will give you the option to place in Google News. Granted, it's a bit more expensive, but that still works pretty well. So here's one example. This person got a link to Fox Carolina 21. So what I will usually do myself before the launch is I will simply have a press release talking about my bonus. And I might say, for example, and I haven't done this one yet because I'm already doing pretty well with it, but I might say, maybe fill a Jetpack 2.0 review and bonus by super affiliate Jeff Lenney. And that'll simply get people's attention. That'll get more clicks. And again, the thing is you're also going to get links. I can do one press release, for example. Excuse me, I'm talking nonstop. It's like, I gotta breathe. And I actually might get 5,000 or 6,000 backlinks from that press release. So I'm a huge believer in those. I saw one experiment by who owns Marketer Media? Is it UNG? No, it's I forget, but there's an internet marketer that owns Marketers Media, which is an internet marketing press release program, and he actually ranked Matt Cutts' blog from Google because Matt Cutts said press. You hear about this?
No.
Stephen? I gotta find this now. Hold on. I think it's not Mark Lane. Who is it? But basically, Matt Cutts, Daniel Town, that's who he is, Daniel Town. Basically, Daniel Town ranked a post on Matt Cutts' site for this random keyword, lease, reap, press, MM. And he did that just by doing press releases to Matt's site. So while press releases are not really going to be a major ranking factor in your campaigns, in my opinion, they certainly do help. And again, that's going to also help to build more of a diverse backlink authority to your site. So he was able to rank Matt's site. Again, this is 2 years ago. Let's see if Matt's still ranked for that. Hold on. There we are, mattcutts.com/blog. And of course, that's a word that Matt would never use. No one uses a made-up word. So there you go, guys. Take it for what you want. Press releases can be an amazing way to rank for very low competition phrases. And again, it is something I use. Why? Because my competitors do it, and I know it does, again, give me some quality links. And again, if you pay for Google News, like I generally do, it's a few $100 usually, you're going to find you can get better visibility out of your press release as well.
Okay. And when you're doing press releases, what service do you use?
I hate to say this, I hate to admit I failed on something, but I was using 24-7 press release, and they recently mentioned to me that I'm not allowed to do reviews on their site anymore because I was simply using them to kind of take advantage of the quick ranking. They said I'm more than welcome to do an actual press release with newsworthy content, but I had to be careful about not doing reviews. Having said that, a good friend of mine still does use them, and he does so quite well. So if you guys do want to use 24-7pressrelease.com, just make sure you try to make it sound somewhat newsworthy. It still does work pretty well.
Okay.
I think I might re-sign up with another email address because I liked how that worked. But you can also use PR Log, PR Web. Those are a few $100. Marketers Media you can also use, which is I think $100 or so. So it's worth it, guys, because you get placed pretty quickly and get some valuable links.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So now, for one of the launches, I know that you actually, and you touched on this earlier, you actually bought a post on a high authority site.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit more about when you would do that and how you would use that? Are you just using it as a link, or are you trying to rank it?
Both, honestly. And again, I'm sorry, guys, I can't share that site. It's part of my own strategy. If you guys are wise enough, you can probably figure it out, but nothing personal. But essentially, I found I'm sorry?
I said that's good.
Okay, I found a rather large internet marketer that does sponsored posts or sponsored reviews for $500. And he's able to rank pretty much on page one instantly within a few minutes for pretty much anything you want to go after. Number one, he was also willing to link to my homepage as well as my review. And number two, his post ranks on page one as well, and then refers people to mine. Generally with his, what I would do is I would ask him to post it about a day before the product launch starts. Now again, that's not something that everyone's able to do. You have to first of all find people to do this for you. You have to have the money to kind of do that. But I mean, if you can find a quality guest posting opportunity, it's worth taking advantage of, assuming they'll do links for reviews, etc.
Okay. So, and this kind of brings us back to a question that has been asked 2 or 3 times. And could you go back over to muncheye.com?
I most certainly can.
Cool. Okay. Now, from my understanding, like the gray ones are pretty low competition. Like,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that per se.
Yeah.
It's simply the premium launches on the left side. These people pay to have those on the left. They pay to have them highlighted. So I mean, I would say that the ones on the right, or the ones that are not premium, for example, probably are going to have less hype. They're probably going to be less popular,
Mm-hmm.
probably from someone that's really not as well known. For example, I don't know really any of these names. I know Alex Jeffries, everyone knows
Mm-hmm.
Alex. But I mean, generally speaking, you're going to find the big players on the left. I mean, I know every name here: Simon,
Yeah.
Andrew, Devin, Sam, Jeff Walker, Graham Jacobs, Sam Baker,
Mm-hmm.
Reefing. His guy's name I cannot pronounce, but he's from Malaysia, and the guy has launches that are just off the charts every single time. Tom Gross. I mean, again, I ignore the right side 90% of the time. I just look at the premium launches here on the left side.
Okay.
And this
So,
is where it's all at. Oops.
um, so how much do you spend on average per launch?
You know, it depends. I mean, I just might use my own PBN, which I already own. I might do some
Mm-hmm.
articles on that, do 5 or 6 articles. Well, in that case, it's going to be free. Or I might use someone else's as well. I mean, again, if I didn't have my own PBN, for example, and if I just wanted to use someone else's links, shoot, I could get 5 links for 125, 10 for 250. So I've been a long time customer of one particular person now. So $250, $300, and that's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's really usually the most I'll do. Sometimes for some real high-end stuff, I might spend a few more than that, or in some cases, I'll use the $500 review I told you guys about. So I'll spend even more because I know it's going to really give me a real nice ROI. But usually not that much. I mean, let's say I spend $250 on links. That's 10 PBN links, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe $50 or $150 on a press release. That's about 300, $400. So I mean, again, I know it's a lot of money. But once you actually see the results you're going to be getting, it really is worthwhile. So what I would really, really stress, though, guys, is do not just buy the first links you see. Do not just buy because someone says they're the best deal ever. You know, read the feedback, do your research, do your due diligence, and again, also make sure you take the time to focus on a quality review because you're going to find some that are just pure crap, and you know you might rank, but no one's going to buy what you're promoting. So I mean, again, before you even think about links, think about your review and how that's going to look. And in fact, I would still recommend, despite what I said, how I do things, is finish your review first. Make sure it's perfect. You really need to master that process. I know it's not fun. I don't enjoy doing reviews, but I know if I spend 2 or 3 hours doing one and it makes me 5 or 6 figures, I'm okay with that. So I'm definitely okay with doing that because I mean it pays the bills and then some. So
So, and then one question that I thought was pretty valid that we can kind of wrap up with here
yes, by all means.
is, you know, why do you teach other people how to compete with you?
You know, I hate to say it. I mean this in the nicest way possible. Most people will not take action. I've got no problem sharing what I do because it works, and I really do want to see people better themselves. In my experience with coaching for 3 years or so, with regular $50 products, and I have 2 or 3% to take action. I mean, you guys here, you guys are awesome. How many of you guys have started with your SEO staff? You can be honest. I'm not going to call you out or anything. But you know, on bigger products like this, you might find maybe only 10 or 15% even get started. And then again, here's the other thing: is some people will just do one, they won't succeed, and they'll quit. So and again, I'm not saying this to be cocky or arrogant, but I'm showing you guys that 100% what I do, minus a few sites I won't share, and it works. And simply put, most people don't have the dedication to really stick with it and make it work. And I really, Dory asked me to do this. I was hesitant at first, but you know, I've seen so many newbies make their first money online because of launch tracking like this. And you know, this is not the main thing I do with SEO, and so I'm okay sharing it. So again, I don't mind sharing it because it works. I want to help people better themselves, and again, honestly, most people simply won't do it. And I know that
Yeah.
makes me sound like a pompous asshole by saying that. I'm not trying to be that way, but it's simply put, is most people simply will not stick with it. You know, they'll quit or they'll move on to the next product. So, you
Yeah.
know, my advice, having said that, guys, is please, like, I'm teaching you guys what works. I have got a nice bank account to prove that this works for me. A nice watch that I bought last month. Feels great. But you know, I want you guys to stick with this, whether you're doing local SEO or launch tracking or affiliate marketing or email marketing or reputation management. All of what I do, by the way, well, minus the local stuff, it's going to work if you stick with it. And yeah, so I guess it's kind of a two-parter. I'm rambling, I know, but I
Yeah.
talk a lot because I'm being sincere. I want you guys to understand this. I want every single person here to have that success. And if they can do it with something easy like Launchjack, and even if it takes a few sales from me, that's awesome. You just buy me a beer, we're good. But I would love to see one person's life changed, and that's good enough for me.
Somebody, Drew just asked, when are you quitting your day job?
I actually work for a large marketing agency in Orange County in Irvine. I'm the SEO guy there, and I pretty much make every 2 weeks what I make there in a year, and they pay me really well. But I just enjoy it. I don't like being at home all day long. I've got a son coming in 2 months, so maybe next year. But I just enjoy getting out. I enjoy socializing. I enjoy going to lunch with friends and coworkers. I enjoy working with different clients and bigger companies that I don't really work with myself directly. Pretty much have it, and I like it.
Yeah.
I certainly don't need it anymore, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, because even if you just focus completely on launch jacking, which you've gotten quite a bit of income from, my biggest challenge with it is it's a little boring. It's not creative. It's not challenging.
It's ridiculously boring, but again, it pays the bills nicely.
Yeah. But it's something you could do like 4, 5, 6 hours every Saturday. Sit down, jack a launch, and it's. I will say that this is, for me, affiliate marketing has been one of the most difficult ways to make money, and this is like the easiest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it is. It really is.
Yeah. So we're rounding out about 9:55. Does anybody have questions specifically related to link building that we have not covered yet? Okay, we have a question about indexing links and services like backlink indexer. Do you use those type of services?
Yeah, generally no. I mean, basically, guys, when you build a backlink, there's no guarantee Google's going to crawl that site right away or ever. And essentially what the indexer does is you can either sign up for a paid service or free service. It basically builds a bunch of smaller, tiny links to that site to get a notice by Google. So I don't really use them myself, to be honest with you. Usually I will either simply ping them myself or I'll share them with social media, for example. It's hard to say. I don't really use it myself, although I know why people do it. For me, I think it's more people that use maybe build links in bulk. Maybe they build a couple thousand third-tier links. They want to get those ranked quicker, indexed quicker. What are your thoughts on that, Steven? I've used it, but it's not. I've used it before. It's not something I really use extensively, though.
I've used it when I'm doing like really black hat stuff.
Yeah.
That like I know isn't going to last. So it personally, I don't use it a lot. I just if anything, like one thing that's social signals are good for is link indexing. Like share it on Google Plus and it'll get indexed in a moment.
Oh yeah, Twitter as well, Facebook. Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook. If it shows up on any social media, Google's going to pay attention. So hey, we now know what social signals are for.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, let's see. What about something like SendWire?
SendWire, I've actually used that before. That's really more of the paid submission. You can actually use, oh, that guy's no longer there, but you can actually use Fiverr and have someone submit for you. And I was actually using Fiverr gigs for SendWire last year quite a bit. Essentially what SendWire does is you can build up various profiles and you can have other people do the same thing. You can basically get a crap ton of social signals with really the click of a button or two, so it works pretty quickly. So, I mean, again, I've used it before and I've heard people swear that that works for ranking. I would probably use SendWire, to rank, to link to my links or to link to some of my Black Hat sites. That's not really something I use or even have an account with or use daily. So,
Okay.
I mean, again, that's available. It's not something I use very
Got it.
frequently.
And then, so Cheryl asks, have you ever bought backlinks and then had them kind of backfire on you?
Oh yeah, well, actually, what she said was she used to pay blogs to link to her, and then Google downgraded those blogs to a PR0. So the problem with that is a lot of people certainly would go to websites like, I forget the name at the moment, but where you can simply buy a link on someone's site on the home page, and then you look at the site, there's 30 other links on the site. It just looks like obvious crap. There's links to, Shirley's dry cleaning service and Justin's car wash and lose weight quickly and make money online. There's all these other non-relevant links that we link to from that site. And the very second someone from Google sees that site, they're going to slap it down. They're going to remove it from the index as spam. So, again, surely, yes, I have. In fact, one of my big sites, relationship-builder.net, I still got a few rankings for it. It's an amazing looking site. I'm proud of this one. But I was using more Black Hat PBM links. I was ranking for about a year for most things on here. I was making like $500 to $1,000 a day for the most part with this site. I think I'm still ranked for the product name. Text the romance back. That's about it though. But most of that site got tanked because of bad quality links. So I mean, again, it was a very short term. It lasted me for half a year to a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more of a short term project. But it ended up paying off nicely. So I'm actually tempted to redo a site like this with better quality links, because I mean, again, this was something that was paying me daily and still does to a lesser extent with really no launch jack and no work involved.
Mm-hmm.
I went on my cruise to the Caribbean and it paid for the whole cruise while I was gone. I mean, it is yeah. So yeah, I certainly have. This site got slapped pretty nicely. It's got a pretty crappy CF and TF now, but it still ranks and still brings me some traffic. But oh yeah, by all means. So just make sure you're not just paying some random guy to give you links from his homepage, or paying some random guy pretty much. Just again, do your research, and if you take the time to research and find out whose stuff is working for you, you're going to get better results that way.
Okay.
I hope that answers that question.
Yep. And for Carlos, affiliate marketing and launch jacking.
I just lost you. Hold on.
In my opinion, they're essentially the same thing. Launch jacking is just a version of affiliate marketing, but a really easy version of affiliate marketing.
No, exactly, it really is. And again, here's an example of 15 text the romance back examples. This product came out 2 years ago. And if you search for text the romance back, here I am, #1 in Google. So that is not a launch jack. That's an article I did probably in 2014 or maybe I think I did in either late 2013 or late 2013, early 2014, and it still ranks. That's not a launch jack, but it still makes me money. So again, that's what would be more of affiliate marketing. While the launch jack is a lot of money and maybe a shorter time span, a week or 10 days, when you do affiliate marketing long term like this, you can make money for years to come. So I try and do both on a consistent basis.
Okay. So
good question also, by the way. Great question.
Yeah. For Lee, for the small local radio links from local radio stations and like local town directories, I think that those would be more beneficial if you were trying to rank on a local level.
Yeah.
I don't think that those would actually be considered spam sites by Google unless people are just submitting hundreds and hundreds of links to those sites.
Correct. I mean, if you're ranking, for Cleveland plastic surgeon, for example, and you got a link from Cleveland Radio 101 or the Cleveland Town Hall or whatever, that's going to be a quality link for that site. But I wouldn't use those just for like your weight loss blog or something, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So,
Turn some light on.
so Sherry, Jeff's course is launch jacking. That's his module. If you want to get started on launch jacking, go through his site. And for SJ, why do I think that affiliate marketing is so much harder than launch jacking? I would say that affiliate marketing is harder because most people get really confused when they're trying to pick a niche. And that is the biggest single stumbling block I've ever seen. With this one, you don't need to worry about the niche. Your niche is a single product.
No, by all means. In fact, there's also one reason why I love kind of off-topic of reputation management. It's going to be a lot easier to rank for, to rank for the first, for Jeff Lenney for the first 3 pages than weight loss or page 1 engine review. So I mean, that's a reason RM is powerful as well. But yeah, I mean, affiliate marketing is great. It's more long-term, but really you got to learn to focus on your niches as well, as Stephen pointed out. In fact, it's funny you mentioned that one. I'm actually working on a new blog post with the top 21 niches. So it's off topic, I know, but.
Cool.
But no, niches are powerful, guys. Get your niche down, get a powerful, get a profitable niche, and go with that. You'll be doing all right.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
So, okay, it is past 10 o'clock. So I think that we have pretty much covered everything that we were going to cover. If we're going to do like a quick recap, like if you had to pick one strategy to focus on, it would probably be great quality content and those PBN links. Is that right?
Oh, by all means, yeah.
Yeah, and like going in and finding reputable people in the private Facebook groups.
In fact, the thing is, guys, you might even rank without a single link as well. I do often myself because I've been working on my site for a while. But if you have a properly optimized article, you might rank tomorrow without a single backlink. The reason I use the backlinks is to help kind of secure my site's rankings and kind of keep it above the spam when that starts coming in. And for the most part, 8 out of 10 times that works. But I mean, if you simply focus on the on-page, like Stephen mentioned a moment ago, you might rank at least initially without a single backlink.
Okay, awesome. So thank you guys. I hope that this has Sherry, you are part of Page One Engine, so you could actually use Page One Engine's. She said, she only has a $20 budget to get started for this. So you actually have Page One Engine's 500 site network that you can use to get backlinks.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to go out and get PBN links. You can go and pick different, all the different categories, and we'll go through and build out those links for you.
By all means.
So
yeah, because if you don't want to spend a dime when you're starting, and again, I would recommend, as with Stephen or Dory, to build out your own network as well. If you want to use Dory's links initially to get a few links to your site, I mean, these are pretty kick-ass links, and you can get them. You guys paid for the ability to use those in the other tools, so take advantage of those as well.
And everybody gets 500 links on that network. So, and for SJ, I would say that yes, using those can be pretty risky. I wouldn't, so like if I was Jeff, I wouldn't necessarily use POE's current network to link to jefflenney.com. But to link to,
a press release, or
to a press release, or even a productreview.com site that you only need it to rank for a month and a half.
Absolutely. Open the window here.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I mean, again, I don't. And again, Dory says right here, do not use these for your main site, which I actually don't, because again, you've got a more less controlled network here, which with a few thousand people that have access to it. There's really no control over the content on there. You guys can just link on there. So I guess it's a bit more risky when it's open up to so many people. So for this, if you want to buy, as an example, productreview.com and send 15 links to that, with this, you're probably going to rank pretty damn quickly. You're probably going to stay there. But again, I would not use this to my main money site, jefflenney.com, just because it's really more of a public link, a public network used by so many people with really a lack of content control. Meaning, I can go in here and post articles to, finance about dating, as an example. So there's really no moderation over what you guys can post. So I would just say, if you're going to use these, either link it to a throwaway site, or maybe you can link it to a YouTube video or a press release you have ranking nicely, or even like a blog spot post or a Web 2.0 article. I would simply just not link these to your main site.
Okay. And Patrick, so far as using POE's network to link to a YouTube video, 100% go ahead and do that. YouTube has a lot of authority and Google trusts it because, Google owns it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you can go and use that for a YouTube video. And for Maria, if let's say you do a press release and you want to use POE's network to link to the press release, you can go ahead and do that. But I think that we're keeping Jeff a little too long, so I think we got to. So yeah, let's kind of conclude this. A lot of the on-page stuff, a lot of the things about building the review is covered in Jeff Lenney's course, the module on launch jacking. So you can just go in there and take a look at that. So thank you so much, Jeff, for coming on, talking about this, and kind of opening up your strategy to us, so that the 70 people that are on can hopefully take some action and get started, and start building a business online.
By all means, and thank you, Stephen, for being here as well. I think this is like Stephen's second webinar ever. Is that right?
Yeah. What I do, guys.
Awesome, man. I've done like 300 or 400 of these, so it's nice. It's nice to not be the only person doing it, and to kind of have that kind of more back and forth. So that's a nice change. But you did great, man. And actually, I do want to answer one more question from Shirley before we go, because it's a good one. I think if you link Dory's links to your YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, etc., have you ever seen someone get a penalty or slapped for linking for those pages? It can happen if you do like 25,000 links at once, but really those sites, Facebook, Amazon, Pinterest, YouTube videos, Google Plus pages, those have so much stinking authority, they can take a lot of backlinks. It's honestly, I'll say it's difficult to get one of those types of sites penalized. So, I would have no problem sending 100 links from this network to my YouTube video, for example, because it's going to probably help it rank like crazy. So, and again, it's not that PBN, not that Dory's PBN is bad, it's just not private at all. So that's the reason why we're saying be careful with this. Anyone can link to anything.
So, okay, again, thank you for coming on, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, thank you, man. Cool, guys. Yeah, you guys have been amazing. Thank you guys so much, of course. We're going to have, I believe, another expert next week with Steven, I believe, interviewing them as well for some more amazing link tactics. And I believe Dory's going to be on in 2 weeks when she's back from her Alaskan cruise. Well, she'll be back before then. But, yeah, guys, so guys, thank you guys so much. You guys have been amazing. Again, I will say this, please do not be shy. We are here to help you out. If you have any questions, go to the Facebook group. Go to the private members area forum. We are there daily to help you guys succeed. So please do not be shy. Do not think you have a stupid question. I promise you I've heard it all, and I've been able to help people have their first success by helping them overcome what they thought was a stupid issue or question. So having said that, guys, thank you so much. You guys have been amazing. Thank you very much, Stephen, and we will talk to you guys very soon. Good night.
Good night.